I said, whatever, dude. So he started walking and he kept playing the gun like this to us. He said, well, I'm gonna take your soul. I'm gonna take your soul from you right now. I'm tying in this guy.
Cops think that they can get away with almost anything, but sometimes it's their own bosses who end up holding them accountable. Today, we'll be watching some of the most satisfying moments where dumb cops were humbled by higher authority. Make sure to watch until the end, as the actions of the first cop were nothing compared to the last one. That's because on January 26, 2024, a couple of individuals contacted the Albuquerque Police Department, reporting that a law enforcement officer had threatened them with a gun.
I just said, excuse me. I started walking like this, and he pulls his gun out on me. He says, get the fuck back. Get the fuck back. I said, why? He goes, this is the sheriff's office. I said, whatever, dude. So he started walking and he kept playing the gun like this to us. He said, well, I'm gonna take your soul. I'm gonna take your soul from you right now. I'm tying in this guy.
After a brief investigation, officers tracked down the suspected cop, identified as 34-year-old Michael Borreco, a deputy with Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, sir. My name is Officer Weather Deputy. Are you security here?
No, I'm just chilling.
You're just chilling? So the reason why I'm talking to you is we got a call for service about a silver Dodge, a gentleman pointing a gun at somebody else saying he's going to take a soul and doing all that. Do you mind just stepping out for me real quick so I can complete my investigation? Did you have an ID with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. You're not pointing it at anybody or anything like that? I'm trying to figure out a description for the male that did this.
No, I get it, Billy.
So once they get me that, we'll continue going. If they give me the description that matches you, what we'll do is we'll do a field ID of the person. That's what that's called, is whoever our caller is will come do all that stuff and either say that's him or that's not him. Okay.
Although Michael had refused any claims made by the victims earlier, it was only a matter of time before the officers caught him, as the incident had been recorded on Circle K's CCTV.
I work for the county.
You work for the county?
Yeah.
What do you do for the county?
I'm with the SO.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
So you're off duty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Brett, where are you at?
So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I'm on the...
What's the rest of the DP?
Yep. This is Michael.
It's Michael?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Michael. So, just to let you know, bro, right now, you're going to be detained until further notice, just pending investigation, okay?
Okay.
So we do have to place you in handcuffs for now, okay? All right. Just until we can run some more investigation on what's going on, okay?
Got two cuffs?
Yeah.
Those are the foot.
All right. Go ahead and slip sec.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you got the fob.
Have a seat for me, man.
Yeah, man.
Michael was intoxicated, and although he had not been arrested till now, all the evidence pointed towards him being the suspect.
All right.
All right, Michael, go ahead and have a seat, bro. Once you figure things out, man,
Nothing there either way, really.
Can you do this one more time? Like,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot, just so we can see it again.
no problem.
It looks like
This
doesn't
reverse is
it
horrible.
could have been, hey, get the hell out of here. Their reaction wasn't.
Yeah, because this is what I think happened. He saw him, he's probably getting high. He said, guys, get it out.
Yeah. A little bit further back.
Further back?
Yeah, when he approaches the vehicle. Right there. That'll be good.
The officers went over to see the CCTV footage, where it was clear that Michael did pull up to them and threaten them. However, there was no gun shown in the footage, and the officers now had to search his car for the weapon.
Figure out what the status is. Like, I just really want my wife to know that, like, I'm okay. I'm not dead somewhere. She hasn't heard from me in hours.
We're gonna have these guys get brought.
Okay. We're actually almost done and we can do that, yes? Just give her an update, and we'll give you an update really soon, okay? Was that your only question or concern you wanted to let me know about, or?
Without a warrant, the officers couldn't search Michael's car. They decided to let him go home, but ensured that his car remained in their custody.
All right, sir, so we just talked with your chain stuff. Investigation-wise, things are going to be on pause. Again, we took your truck, sealed it just for evidentiary value. We're going to look over everything at a later time just to make sure we're doing what's right. So everything is justified, there's no questions. For tonight though, you're being released. Nothing's going to take place further. We gave your chain the report number and stuff. They are willing to give you a ride home. So we're going to get you out of these cuffs, sir. Thanks for being compliant. So let's do that. Let's get you out of here, sir.
How am I able to get my phone, man?
Tomorrow morning, the one sergeant, I don't know if you saw the other one that was with me, he's in contact with the chain. Once things are being like released and stuff, you can get
in contact with anybody like without my phone, man. Like not even like work and stuff.
Well, you know too, like just our side. If we take something out of that truck, we're violating, your rights and stuff. So we had to do the right thing too.
Michael was visibly unhappy, knowing deep down that he was about to be exposed. For now, he was escorted home by another officer.
Oh, that's your right one first, man.
I think one of them will help you out, sir.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
So just so you know, I'm going to be doing a little bit more looking into what was going on and what they alleged and that sort of thing. Okay. As far as
Just aggravating. There's not bullshit going on. Already in the city, man.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off.
yeah, I saw in the video that you did flash your lights, and then one of them kind of like looks over, and the
I didn't see the other one.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I gave you my phone, my contact information, so that way you guys can get in touch with me. All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
The next morning, officers got a search warrant for his car and discovered 19 shot-sized empty bottles of vodka and a loaded 9mm gun with an extended magazine. After the discovery of the evidence, he was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and negligent use of a deadly weapon. He later turned himself in and was booked into the Metropolitan Detention Center. Now, this officer may have messed up, but the sinister actions of this sergeant will leave you absolutely shocked.
You were not Sergeant Hilo last night. You were absolutely somebody else. And we can sit here.
On June 10, 2006, Janelle Galuska contacted 911 and complained about an unknown person knocking on her door and trying to harass her. As the officer arrived, he was shocked to see his own sergeant hiding behind her home. The officer immediately made the arrest, and that was the moment Predator Sergeant Jeffrey Pillo's life came crashing down.
I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what you're talking about. I understand that, Jeff, and you understand, just like I do, that I can't talk about anything until we get this a little bit out of the way. Okay? All right. I want to hear what you have to say about it, and I'm really hoping there is a good explanation for it all. Did you meet up with the police officer last night?
You're talking about Zeno.
Yes.
When I was walking around by the lake, looking at the lake down there. Again, I drove down there. I couldn't sleep. All right. Houses come up for sale in that area all the time. I'm interested in buying my mother-in-law a house. She lives up in Ridley. And she's poor. She's on fixed income. I wanted to move closer to us. Houses come for sale. There's a townhome right there for sale. It won't work, but anyway, I was looking to see what kind of access went down to that lake. That's all.
Well, the sergeant came up with a weak story to save himself from charges that would lead him into hot water. You wouldn't believe where this case was actually headed.
There are just some things that happened last night that just doesn't add up. And you know, Jeff, you know, as a former investigator yourself, that there are things that we know, okay? Such as the way that you met him today. You know? Why would you be in between two houses looking at houses? I couldn't keep going straight. There's a drainage thing that goes down the lake. I couldn't keep walking. So I walked up, the dog started barking, and all hell. So I walked up between the houses, gonna go to the road. All right. He comes around, I thought maybe it was the homeowner. I was like, I don't want to startle, you know. He startled me, so I turned to walk back down. He said, stop, please. I was like, oh, hell, it's a cop. I turned around and walked back.
Jeff. Well, you know, as being a police officer, that kind of thing is not within the norm. We don't, as police officers, we don't walk around at 12:30 at night.
The investigator wasn't going to buy this story, and it was game over for the corrupt sergeant. It was later revealed that he had 4 rapes between 2002 and 2005, where he would enter a victim's house wearing a black mask and then sexually assault them.
I am thinking about what I'm telling you, the truth. I went down there, what kind of public access is down there? I walked, I started going to the west side, but there's fences or sand. I said, oh, hell, I come back around the other way. All right, again, I can't go no further. There's a drainage thing that comes down and fills that like overflow. I guess, I don't know whatever it is.
We're past the point of you were there, right? You readily admit that you were there.
Yes.
In between those two houses.
Yes. All right. I was just walking from the lake up to the,
Okay. If you get a call of someone walking in between two houses at 12:30 in the morning,
I don't know what call brought him out there. Yes, of course. Of course. I mean,
Bello had no clue his heinous actions would be caught like this. He was still trying to come out of this, hoping the department would somehow let him off the hook.
Dave said last night somebody knocked on somebody's door. I didn't knock on anybody's door. I did not knock on anybody's door. I did not knock on anybody's door. I don't know what else you're trying to allege here. I don't want to jump to some kind of conclusion. Right? All this isn't about because I walked up from that lake up between those two houses.
absolutely. We're talking about you standing up with your back to the house and trying not to be identified. What? Having your back up against the house and not trying to be seen as David walks by.
I was walking up. I saw someone coming, so I stopped. I turned to go back. Again, the dog's barking. I don't want somebody to think I was doing something wrong. He said, stop, police. I was like, oh, hell. So I turned around and walked up to him. I'm not minimizing anything.
He said, stop, police. Was there a little bit more than that?
No, that's what he said.
You didn't see the gun he had pulled on you?
Bello now tried to use anger and frustration to get out of the investigation. It was the first time he had been on the receiving end of things, and they clearly didn't look good for the disdained sergeant.
She was an absolute basket case.
It wasn't for me.
What? Yes, you were in between the houses. You were in between the houses. What if this would have
I
happened?
walked up between the houses and Zeman was there. That's the only time I went between the houses.
What if this would have happened? Would you be a little bit concerned?
But whatever the lady was scared of, it wasn't me. It was you. How could it be me? The only time I was between the houses when I walked up and Zeman was there, she'd already called.
Jeff, Zemer had already been throughout the whole area. You were the only person there. It was 12:30 in the morning. It was 12:30 in the morning.
The only time I walked up between the houses, like those two houses, was when Zemer came in. All right?
Janelle made a shocking revelation to the officers, recounting an incident where a man in a black mask had once broken into her home. Thankfully, her boyfriend was there and managed to scare the intruder off with a baseball bat. It was clear that Sergeant Bello had been trying to assault her for a long time and ultimately got caught.
He's called out there. All right. There's nobody else out there but you. This lady has someone prowling around her windows. She's a very attractive young lady.
It wasn't me. I wasn't prowling around anyone's windows. I wasn't prowling around at all. Again, when the dog's barking, I said, oh, I need to go up by the road, and that's when I walked between the houses.
Well, what makes you decide to go look at a house at 12:30 in the morning? I wasn't looking into houses. I'm interested in a house in an area. I was looking at that lake. And we as human beings know the difference between right and wrong. It is put in our head from
I understand.
day one.
All right. I did not walk between that. Again, the only time I walked between those two houses is when I was down on the road. I can't go front end. So I walked up to go up to the road. That's it.
What were you wearing last night?
T-shirt, shorts, flip-flops, and socks. Not flip-flops, sandals.
Okay. Did your t-shirt have any writing on it?
I don't remember what my shirt had on.
What color was your shirt? Dark. What about your short?
I think they were my black shorts.
We often see junior cops making mistakes and getting arrested by veterans. But the young officer in this case surely did an amazing job holding the 16-year-old police veteran accountable. I wonder how many poor women's lives he managed to save.
I'm a realist.
I understand.
And I think there's a whole lot more going on here than we're. And I'm not willing, Jeff, to sit here all day long and talk about it.
I understand. All right.
There's something right here that, you're a police officer. You know right from wrong. And
I understand.
I think you did wrong last night, and you think you did wrong last night. And I don't know why you did wrong. Because
I didn't do anything wrong. Walking up from that lane towards the road is the right thing to do at that point. I mean, I can't go for the dog. Okay, so I walked up there. I mean, that's it.
It's not that simple.
I mean, she is a young, attractive lady. I don't know who she is.
And like I said,
I know, I've seen you how you take a genuine interest in people. Okay?
and I think if you knew what you did to this person, because I'm telling you, she's freaking
did not do anything.
Despite the investigators' continuous attempts to get something out of him, Fellow remained steadfast in his claim and refused to accept anything. He seemed to believe that staying silent and ignoring the allegations would eventually make the suspicion fade away.
First of all, is there any reason that you can tell me why David Zimmer would lie about this situation? Because I'll tell you what, he's freaked out too. Because you're one of his mentors, all right? You're one of his mentors. I don't know how I freaked him out. You don't know how he freaked out? Well, I mean, he couldn't even hardly talk. He was so upset by the situation. He talked about how you were, one of his mentors, you were an FTO training sergeant. And I mean, he looked up to you.
All right, I understand that. All right.
And okay, so getting back to the question, is there any reason why David Zimmer would lie about what happened?
Officer Zimmer, who made the arrest, was as shocked as anyone to see his mentor in such a desperate situation. Kudos to him for staying true to his duties and doing the right thing.
I don't know. I have no idea who lives in either one of those houses. All right, I wasn't interested in those houses.
I'm sure you had no idea.
All right, I wasn't interested in those houses.
All right, you weren't interested in lake access.
All right.
Come on, Jeff.
All right. I mean, yes.
I mean, that is just it doesn't make sense to anyone.
All right. Poor choice of times, but that's why I did it. All right. I just walked down there. All right.
What are you, 17 years?
Yeah.
17 years of being a police officer.
I understand.
And you don't think that is a severe error in judgment to be in between two houses at 12:30 in the morning.
All I was doing was walking from the lake to the road. All right. You're implying that I'm doing something mischievous between these houses, and all I'm doing is walking from the lake up to the road. That's it.
That's exactly what I'm implying.
Fellow stuck to his denial and clung to a story that was an obvious lie. After all, there is no reasonable explanation for someone to be out at 1 a.m. supposedly checking out houses.
I said, stop, please. I realized, where's the police? So I turned and went back. Right? I mean, if I realized at first he was Officer Zimmer, I just kept walking right towards him. But my initial thought was, it was someone that lived there. I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, you know it's not it. You know
That's it.
it's not it.
That's it.
Because the scenario doesn't fit. And you know the scenario doesn't fit.
That's it. And here comes also, yes, but I think you've seen me interview enough people that I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. No, I understand. Something wrong. All right, something's wrong. I understand. You think something's wrong. I'm convinced. Something's wrong. Whatever scared that woman was not me. All right. The only time I walked in that house is when I encountered Officer Zemer. I don't know what else to tell you. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I did not. The only time I went between those houses is when I walked up and met Officer Zemer. I did not do anything to anybody anywhere last night. Period. All right. I don't know what you're trying to allege here. I did not do anything to anybody at any point in time. All right. I'm not looking in someone's windows. I'm not doing any of that. I walked down by that way. That's what you said a minute ago.
That you were looking.
You said somebody was walking around looking in this woman's windows. It was not me. Whoever it was, I have no goddamn clue. No goddamn clue whatsoever.
I don't know that I said.
I don't know how else to say it. All right. All right. The truth is the truth. I've already told it to you, and that's that. I don't know what else to do. Excuse me for getting pissed off here, but I didn't do anything wrong. All right. I did not do anything wrong.
The investigator wasn't backing down and kept pressing Pello for answers. He was convinced of the sergeant's guilt and hoped that relentless questioning would eventually make him crack.
I don't know what Dave Zemer told you. All right. I don't know what his perception of it was. But the only time
his perception's right on, Joe. His perception is right on. Exactly right on.
And here's the real story of it all, Joe. You're the one who has to answer for it, not David Zemer. David Zemer is on patrol. I'm not gonna let you do anything wrong. All right. I'm not. Again, I don't know what his perception of it was. I didn't do anything wrong. And I had no ill intent. All I did was walk in that lake and up between those houses. All right. You know, now I'm sitting in an interview room getting accused of being a criminal. Honestly, I should have turned and walked back 50 feet and walked up onto the cul-de-sac. It's right in that cul-de-sac. Yeah, cul-de-sac's right there.
Is that how you came along?
Huh?
Is that how you came along? Did they be allowed to see the spillway?
There's no spillway there.
Whatever you call it.
It was reassuring to see the detectives pushing hard and refusing to give Pello any leniency, even though he was their superior. Once again, Pello recounted his version of the events that night, and it was clear from his story that he was lying.
I can't remember the name of the street. Andy Ford. Walked down to where that cul-de-sac is, looked at that townhouse, and I didn't go up to the windows of the townhouse. I looked at it from a distance to see if two-story whatever it was. If that's the one was for sale, it was. I walked down by the lake, started going on the west side. It's like, no, I don't want to go that way. So I started to come around on the east side, walked around. That's where the little spillway thing comes down in there. I know what you mean by spillway now. I realized, okay, I can't cross that. That's when I turned and walked in the house. Well, actually, I went down a little ways, realized that, went back. You know, one house had a fence, I believe. Well, I walked back. Guess there was one house, walked up between the houses, and that's when I met Officer Zemer.
Where were you driving?
Then, all right. I did, and you come up to a conclusion. How it may seem is not.
It's just a coincidence?
It's yes,
a coincidence?
I didn't do anything wrong last night. I didn't do anything to anyone. Again,
You didn't do anything to
I didn't do any one thing to anyone.
After more than 30 minutes of constant denial, the detective decided to give the entire room to Pello to fight with his thoughts. When he returned, he had some powerful words for him, hoping that he would change his statement.
You're a former military, I understand. And you're telling me you didn't know somebody had a gun pointed at you? He's backward. I wasn't paying attention to that. You weren't paying attention to something. He said, stop, please. I said, oops, it's the play. I turned and walked up there. That's that. I talked to him a few minutes, and then not even a few minutes. All right? You know, he's obviously on the call.
There's problems here, Jeff. There's all kinds of problems. And I'm not here to sit here and tell you that it's all rosy and all that kind of stuff, but no. And you know where I'm coming, because I've told you. This is what we know till the cows come out. But you know
you know in your heart exactly what happened. Yes, yes. I went down, looked at that lake, walked between those houses, go back to the road on my truck, and that's what happened. That was the only time I was between those houses and they would be talking.
Sergeant Pello continued to deny the claims made by the investigator, and the interrogation came to an end. He was later charged with burglary and stalking charges. However, things took a turn for the worse when this case went public, and 4 women came forward claiming to have been sexually assaulted by a white man who came inside their home wearing a black mask. The officers soon searched Pello's residence, where they discovered a mask, a pry bar, and other items they believed had been used in the assaults earlier. The officers also found disgusting evidence against Pello on his computer. Eventually, in June 2008, he was convicted of 37 counts, including sexual assault, home invasion, and stalking. He was ultimately sentenced to 440 years in prison, which seems enough time for a disgusting creep like him. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we saw instances where police officers were owned and humbled by those above them. This proves that even cops are not above the law. Despite thinking they could get away with anything, the good cops in these departments held them accountable and brought them to justice. If you agree with me, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, watch some of the most corrupt cops ever caught on body cam.
Okay, sorry. Drop the fucking pot!